Scene script. Is Bitcoin truly anonymous as many people believe? This question has been echoing in the minds of many since the inception of Bitcoin, the world's first decentralized digital currency, over a decade ago. Born in the midst of the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin emerged as a beacon of hope for many, offering a new way to transact value without the need for an intermediary. But it wasn't just this revolutionary payment system that drew interest. It was the allure of anonymity, the promise of privacy in an increasingly transparent world. The belief that Bitcoin is anonymous is rooted in its very design. To create a Bitcoin wallet, there's no need to provide your name, your address, or any other personal information that we're commonly asked to surrender when setting up traditional bank accounts. This lack of personal information requirement has given rise to the notion that Bitcoin transactions are anonymous. Imagine for a moment you're in a bustling city. You hand over a note to a stranger and they pass it on again and again until it reaches its final destination. No one knows where it came from or where it's going. They only know where they're passing it to. This, in essence, is how many people perceive Bitcoin transactions to work. But does this perception hold true? Is it really possible to transact value across the globe without leaving a trace? Bitcoin, after all, was designed to provide a solution to the trust issues inherent in our traditional financial systems. It did this by creating a public ledger known as the blockchain, where every single transaction is recorded and can be viewed by anyone in the world. This transparency is one of the key pillars of Bitcoin's design. Yet it seems to be at odds with the idea of anonymity. So what gives? Is Bitcoin the cloak of invisibility in the digital world that many believe it to be? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? However, is this perception of total anonymity accurate? Let's delve deeper. To understand the level of anonymity in Bitcoin, we need to understand how Bitcoin transactions work. Firstly, let's break down the concept of blockchain technology. Picture a giant public ledger, transparent and accessible to all. This ledger is not stored in one place, but distributed across a network of computers, known as nodes. Every time a Bitcoin transaction occurs, it's recorded on this public ledger, the blockchain. However, it's not as simple as jotting down, "John sent Jane 1 Bitcoin." Instead, the transaction is recorded as a complex mathematical equation, a cryptographic hash, if you will. Now, onto Bitcoin addresses. These are like your email address or your house address, but for your Bitcoins. When you want to send or receive Bitcoins, you use these addresses. They're a random string of numbers and letters, and each transaction generates a new one. These addresses are public, meaning anyone can see them on the blockchain. But here's where it gets interesting. While these addresses do not directly contain any personal information like your name or location, they can potentially be traced back to individuals. How, you ask? Let's say you purchase something online with Bitcoin. The vendor now has your Bitcoin address from the transaction. If the vendor has your name or other personal information, they could potentially link that to your Bitcoin address. Moreover, if you're using a cryptocurrency exchange that complies with Know Your Customer or KYC regulations, your identity is already linked to your Bitcoin address. Furthermore, because all transactions are publicly recorded on the blockchain, anyone with enough time, knowledge, and resources can analyze the transaction patterns and potentially link them back to individuals. It's a bit like piecing together a jigsaw puzzle. So, while Bitcoin transactions might not directly reveal your identity, they are not completely anonymous. The myth of complete anonymity is just that, a myth. Bitcoin offers a level of privacy, yes, but it's more pseudonymous than anonymous. It's a subtle but crucial distinction in the world of cryptocurrency. So, what is the reality of Bitcoin's anonymity? Let's dive into that. Well, it's not as black and white as some might imagine. Bitcoin transactions, while not directly linked to our personal identities, are not completely anonymous either. They're recorded on a public ledger known as the blockchain, which is accessible by anyone, anywhere in the world. Each transaction carries a unique digital signature, a sort of cryptographic puzzle that can be traced back through the blockchain. There have been instances where individuals involved in illegal activities, thinking they were shielded by Bitcoin's perceived anonymity, found themselves on the wrong side of the law. Law enforcement agencies and cyber sleuths have developed sophisticated techniques to analyze patterns in the blockchain, tracing transactions back to their origin. Ergo, Bitcoin isn't exactly the perfect tool for clandestine operations. But what about Bitcoin mixers and other techniques aimed at increasing anonymity? Bitcoin mixers, for instance, work by jumbling up your Bitcoins with those of others, making it harder to trace transactions. However, they aren't a silver bullet solution. For starters, they rely on the mixer operator to not keep records, and there's no guarantee of this. Plus, mixers are often the target of hackers, and using them can put your Bitcoins at risk. Moreover, the use of such tools could potentially raise red flags, attracting unwanted attention. The reality is, these techniques are not foolproof, nor are they without risk. They're a bit like trying to change your appearance with a disguise. It might work for a while, but it won't stand up to thorough scrutiny. In the world of cryptocurrency, there's a constant tug of war between the desire for privacy and the necessity for security and transparency. And while Bitcoin does provide a certain level of privacy, it's far from the cloak of invisibility some might believe it to be. Thus, Bitcoin in reality offers what we can call pseudonymity rather than complete anonymity. It's a fascinating world, isn't it? Let's continue to explore the depths of this intriguing digital currency in the next segment. If Bitcoin isn't fully anonymous, then what options are there for those seeking true anonymity? Let's then turn our attention towards a specific class of cryptocurrencies known as privacy coins. Among these, Monero and Zcash stand out as the vanguard of digital anonymity. They're designed with a primary focus on privacy, allowing users to transact in a truly anonymous manner. This is a stark contrast with Bitcoin, where every transaction is linked to a public address and can be traced back with a bit of sleuthing. Monero, for instance, employs a range of robust privacy features. One such feature is stealth addresses. This technology allows the receiver of a transaction to create a one-time address that cannot be linked back to them. This means, even if someone is watching, they won't be able to see where the funds are going. Neat, isn't it? Another feature of Monero is ring signatures. Here's a simple way to understand it. Imagine you're in a room with 9 other people. Someone hands you a note, but instead of signing it off individually, everyone in the room signs it. Now, anyone outside the room knows the note came from someone inside, but has no idea who exactly. That's the principle behind ring signatures. It's a method of signing a transaction that involves multiple parties, making it impossible to determine who exactly initiated the transaction. On the other hand, Zcash also offers a high level of privacy, but it does so using a different approach known as zero-knowledge proofs. This technology allows one party to prove to another that they know a value, like a secret, without conveying any information apart from the fact they know the secret. In the context of Zcash, it means you can confirm a transaction without revealing any other details about it. So, if you're looking for true anonymity in your digital transactions, privacy coins like Monero and Zcash may just be your best bet. While they may not have achieved the same level of recognition as Bitcoin, their unique focus on privacy and anonymity sets them apart. Privacy coins are thus serving those who demand more privacy than what Bitcoin offers. In the world of cryptocurrencies, where does the balance lie between anonymity and transparency? The question is as complex as it is crucial. The answer is not black and white, but rather a spectrum of grays. On one end of the spectrum, we have transparency. Transparency is a vital element in the cryptocurrency universe, especially when it comes to preventing illegal activities. It's the transparency of blockchain technology that maintains the integrity and security of transactions. Every transaction made is recorded on the blockchain, a public ledger, which can be audited and verified by anyone. This level of transparency deters fraudulent activity and fosters trust in the system. However, on the other end of the spectrum, we find anonymity. Anonymity is equally significant in the crypto world. But why is that so? Well, for one, privacy is a fundamental human right. In a world where our digital footprints are tracked, analyzed, and often exploited, the allure of anonymity becomes clear. Cryptocurrencies offer an avenue for people to control their financial information away from prying eyes. For legitimate users, it's not about hiding illicit activities, but about protecting their privacy. Now, the challenge lies in striking the right balance between these two ends. This is where the crypto world is seeing ongoing debates and developments. Some argue that too much transparency can lead to personal data breaches, and misuse of information. Others contend that absolute anonymity can shelter illegal activities and undermine the very trust that blockchain technology seeks to establish. So where does the balance lie? Well, the crypto world is constantly evolving, and so is the discourse around this issue. Various solutions are being proposed and tested, from privacy coins that offer enhanced anonymity to regulations that aim for increased transparency. The balance between anonymity and transparency in cryptocurrencies is a complex issue, and the discourse around it continues to evolve. As always, understanding is key to navigating this exciting world of digital currencies.